then first you have to put in the spark plug domes or spark plug tubes. The smaller diameter end goes into the head. Larger diameter head will snap into the valve cover, and you have to use some lubricant, not oil, but some other lubricant like glycerol, to slide these rubber ends into either the head or to the valve cover. Surface. Okay. Slide it in, and it snaps in. So it's an important point. So this is not BMW. BMW original one doesn't have this metal heat shield. So this is from Febi, and sometimes if the heat shield is not pressed on properly, it can get caught here. So you can get caught here, so make sure you don't try to force it, but twist it a little bit and then wiggle it in, okay? And in order for the valve cover gasket to seal properly, dry bond has to be applied here where the upper timing cover meets the cylinder head, so both on the medial and on the lateral side, so the inside and the outside, and then here at the transition of the half moon. So don't put all the way through, just here at the transition. Here, and here, and then here. So first you have to set the valve cover gasket. Make sure that here where the half moon depressions, there's this little guide that corresponds with that tab in this protrusion. In order for the spark plug domes to slide in easier, you put glycerol or some other lubricant, not oil, on the rubber, so they will nicely slide in to these areas. So the valve cover fasteners are somewhat different. The top ones have this threaded hole, and these two in the middle will receive the ground strap. The other two are just there for decoration. So what's important, the ones with the threaded hole are longer than the ones that don't have a threaded hole, and the ones that are longer will go on the top. The little grommets are the same, and the fasteners just snap in. Okay. And if the grommets are still nice and pliable, then none of the fasteners will protrude through the grommets. So it's very important to do that, to use the right fasteners. So the ones with the hole go to the top of the cylinder head on the top, and the ones without hole go to the bottom. So when inserting these fasteners with the rubber grommets, it's good to put some glycerol on the underside of the grommet and then insert it like that, and then just put the fastener in. In addition to these short fasteners with the grommets, there are these other ones, there are longer ones. This one. So 5 of those in the front. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then 4 here and 5 here. So the final torque on the valve cover bolts is 10 Newton meters, and you go from the center crisscross to the outside. These bolts are quite low profile, so you don't want the socket to slip, so the tighter. And then you can finally check just torque. So as you install the valve cover on the engine, so make sure that the spark plug domes come up all the way, or almost all the way to the valve cover. The passenger side intake and exhaust camshaft sensor installed, and on the driver's side exhaust camshaft sensor, intake camshaft sensor, and of course the sensor for the eccentric shaft is already in. You put it in before the valve cover goes on. Next is the installation of the Valvetronic motors. So first the gasket goes in. So the gasket has a smooth side. This is that side will go down into the valve cover, and then it has this notched, it's circular notch, so that's gonna face up towards the valve cover motor. Next, the Valvetronic motor spacer. So this side goes in, so basically this side down, and then this half moon mark, or this mark, is the orientation mark. So the spacer goes in like this, so this orientation mark faces towards the outside of the engine, not towards the inside. So the Valvetronic motor spacer uses these longer M5, like I don't know, 30 millimeter long M5 bolts, and they are Torx, and make sure you use T25, because if you use T20 it's gonna strip it. So next is the installation of the Valvetronic motor, the servo motor for the eccentric shaft. It has this little O-ring that sits in the groove of the Valvetronic motor spacer. So the fitting the motor in is not a big deal. You just have to push it in, and you make sure how I made a note that the electric connector was facing at 10 o'clock position as viewed from the outside. So that's how I'm gonna put it back. And it has a little resistance, so you just have to run the bolts down, M5 bolts, so very little torque. They say 5 Newton meter. Next is the installation of the eccentric shaft sensor gasket. So the flat side obviously faces the valve cover, and so this is one eccentric shaft sensor here, the other one there, so nothing to it, just put it on. Next is the PCV system right here. So this is the orientation. So spring, diaphragm, and top, and it just clicks on. This one doesn't matter which way it goes, So this is a little hole, but actually it's a blind hole. So and these little clips on the side will just click in. So this lip is sealing against here. So arrange it. And it clicks on and it's done.